Hey guys, it's Anna from Astralladytarot in Amsterdam. How's everyone doing? I felt like showing you my Morgan's Tarot. Now, I know there are a few very good walkthroughs of this deck and explanations and all that stuff, basically reviews of this deck online, but I don't know, I just felt like it could use a little bit more time in the spotlight because it's such a crazy, weird deck. It's called Morgan's Tarot, but it's not a tarot deck. First of all, there are more cards than a regular tarot deck. I think 88 cards. And then, well, there's no structure or anything like that, like a regular tarot deck. I, unfortunately, because I really do enjoy the vintage stuff, do not own a 70s version or even an 80s version, I believe. This is a box that used to be underneath this paper because I put some paper over it because I didn't actually like the way that the box looked. It's dark purple, so basically this is the version that you can find now, and on every card there is the little, this is a drawing of one of the cards, love, that's on this box. I believe there would be some copyright here, and I just scratched that off, and it doesn't look that amazing on every card. It's like this little mark but I honestly prefer that to having that copyright there. I also think the vintage version, the true vintage version, as in first edition, all of the artwork, all of these lines are not black like this one. They are all like a reddish color or a little bit purple, I believe. So anyway, if you're interested in this deck, it's available. It's just, yeah, you'll get this version that I have here. But you know what? It really doesn't matter. Oh, look at that. I added some little mushrooms because it's totally psychedelic. It's a deck from the 70s, and you can definitely feel that. Morgan's Tarot 1970, and then here's some planets and stuff. Yeah, underneath there's still the box that it came in, but this is what I did with mine because I prefer white to that. I guess I thought it was ugly when I got it, to that purple box. So it really doesn't matter because it's great cardstock. So let me try to shuffle this over the camera. It's a little bit stiff, but I really like that. Makes it feel durable and whoa. Yeah, really love that. These are the backs. Isn't that cool? There's some sacred geometry, and it says, "Love is God." That's beautiful. So I'm not going to go full flip through. Wow, look at that. How cool is that? This is actually the title card, which I know that I wanted to talk about specifically because I had removed this card from the deck, and thankfully I had saved it. I had removed this card from the deck when I got the deck, thinking, oh, there you go, there's the title card. Morgan's Tarot, illustrated by Darshan Korpash, created by Morgan Robbins. And the card says, transmutation through union of opposites. And it's like, I don't know, the 6 of something, maybe the Lover's card. Apparently there's an equivalent for every tarot card for the cards that have been created in this deck, but honestly I cannot really find it, but that would be cool, right? Anyway, I had put this card somewhere else, I think in the box that I keep my extra cards in. And then I realized, I don't remember if it was through the little booklet, the little white book, or some internet site. It said, well, there's also the transmutation through union of opposites card, where you would be missing, you would be missing out on this message. Honestly, I think it was the little white book. So that's great. We got our first card, our first interesting fact about this deck. I actually really enjoy the weirdness of this deck, and I am a hippie at heart. There's just no denying that. Oh, this deck is such an essential. I'm so happy to have it. Even though I still don't, completely get it, that's the whole point. Whatever I do, whenever I use this deck, I am certain that it will flip my perspective. It will flip my view on the matter. It will flip honestly, my view on the world at that point in time. So it really does its job. It's a crazy oracle deck. Let's just say that. And I don't own many oracle decks. I have the Tantric Dakini Oracle, which is actually used to be the Secret Dakini Oracle, but I again have like a new edition, so it's called Tantric Dakini Oracle now. And that actually resembles a tarot deck much more. I have the box here. See? This is a box that I made, and it's cool because it's all collage style, and these people are actually in the deck. This deck is actually more of a tarot deck, but without the court cards. I really love this. But hey, I already made an entire video about how much this deck is blowing my mind, so I will just link it below and you can watch that. This is all about the Morgan's Tarot. Let me think. I also have Soul Cards. Soul Cards 1, but I'm selling them because they are just not for me exactly. I like them, but my Soul Cards is definitely Soul Cards 2. So I have Soul Cards 2. I kind of count that as an Oracle deck. I have Oracle of the Radiant Sun. And then this one. Yeah, that's it. I know, I am definitely all about tarot. And the Oracle cards that I do have, they're all crazy and weird and just strange. So that reflects who I am, I guess. But, I'm okay with that. Everyone is talking about that little white book that comes with Morgan's Tarot, and how annoying it is that it's all jumbled up. There is no structure to the deck, so there's also no structure to the little white book, which means that it takes a while before you actually find the meaning of the card, or the description of the card, you could say, in the little white book. So what I did, because I actually wanted to work with this deck, and I know it's all about intuition and what the card triggers in me, but then again, you kind of want to have that information from the makers themselves, right? Because it's so interesting. And it's another time and another view on life. So what I did is I took my little white book. I went to a copy shop, because I don't own a copier or a printer or scanner or anything like that, okay? I went to a copy shop and I copied the little white book, which means that I had 2 versions now, basically, of the information in that booklet. Then what I did was I made this little booklet. Didn't feel guilty because it's not a vintage version at all, so I was allowed to, scratch this copyright off, and I was allowed to change the box, and I was allowed to destroy the booklet. I cut out the copied version of the booklet and the booklet itself, because of course, a little white booklet there's information on this side of the card, but then there's also information on the page, but then there's also information on this side of the page. So you need 2 versions in order to do what I did. So I'm going to try to hide some stuff because I also added some personal associations and information. This is what the book looks like when you open it. Yeah. Then we start basically in alphabetical order. That's what I did. I start off with the blank card because that's supposedly nothing. And then there's the circle card. So that's also not a word yet. Then there's the robot, because these are the first few cards where it's only a symbol on the cards. It doesn't actually have a title. So they titled it The Robot, and then the Whirling Golden Wheel, which I got the other day, which was absolutely perfect. And then I start with A, and here I did it all in alphabetical order. And then here is B. Yeah, okay, I added something that I can share here. For the Boo card, the appearance of this card may indicate something scary is happening, but there's probably no need to take it too seriously. And then I added, don't underestimate shock value. Oh my god, so much information. Okay, all the way to, are we at Z here? Nope, the last letter is Y. And then there's some extra stuff for me to journal on, because I know that there's a lot more information in this deck that I'm getting out now, just because, you know, I wasn't alive in the 70s, and so I know that there's a lot of stuff, a lot of information that I am missing by simply not knowing, not having been there. I mean, honestly, my music taste is all about the 60s and the 70s mostly, but that doesn't mean that I understand the complete concept, if you will. I'm born in 87, okay, so that's a long time after that. Here, it says, it's the introduction from the little white book. Out of the mystic 60s and into the tantric 80s speeds an unusual vehicle called Morgan's Tarot, created to transmit New Age consciousness and energy. Morgan's Tarot was inspired by various spiritual traditions, especially Tibetan Buddhism, and most of the cards reflect direct experience. Yeah, and then they talk about the tarot penetrating the unknown. There's wisdom, psychology, the universe, physical world is a reflection. I love all of this. What's here? Oh, I guess I just added everything that was in the little white book. Okay, so this is my little booklet that I use for this deck, because it is the little white book, and at the same time it's kind of like my own personal workbook for it, and I love that. So let's look. Let's look at some of the cards. Okay, I got this one the other day as well, the Path. Wait, let me just do that. The Path. I love it because it says start and end, and there's of course that peace sign in the middle, peace symbol. But I tried to actually do this maze, and the thing is, you're never gonna get from there to there. You'll always be stuck in the middle, stuck, if you will. So the message you get from this, I get from this, is the path is all about, well, the experience, the path itself, the moment itself. The heart, you will be in the middle of the heart. It's not about getting to the end, getting from the lotus position to the lotus. It's about finding that peace in your heart, in the middle of, well, chaos maybe, or options perhaps. Rebirth and death. I guess this is the death card. I really like it. There's no reversal in this deck, but this card, you could use however you like, but it came like this, so I'm using it like this. But I really like how it depicts how equal it truly is, and how it's the same energy, just different side of the same coin. Just to show you some cards, right? To show you how crazy this deck is. Or what was it I was doing a minute ago? Yesterday's truth. When you get this in a reading, I remember in the deck, in the booklet, they showed a Celtic cross. They actually showed a Celtic cross. I don't use the Celtic cross in tarot. Actually, maybe one of these days I'm going to try to do an entire huge, like 9 or 10 card spread like the Celtic cross with only this deck and see what comes out. But honestly, I think it's going to be confusing. But it really doesn't matter, right? Yesterday's truth. What does that mean? What does that mean to you? It's just confusing, but funny as well. And yeah, like I said, it flips my perspective. Here, the Virgin Sun Queen. What does it mean to you? Someone's laughing, but it's not you. Ooh, there are no mistakes, and then mistakes is misspelled. But I love that, right? It's actually saying even the thing that we think is a mistake is absolutely meant to be there, or something like that. There's a new deck. I forgot the name now. I think it's been out for at least half a year now. That looks exactly like Morgan's Tarot. Ooh, maybe I should just look it up. Oh, here we go. It's called Postcards from the Liminal Space by Everyday Magic. I don't know if that's the maker of the deck. It honestly looks cool, but it also, to me, looks so much like this one, and then it's not. Made in a hippie era, where I'm kind of afraid that it might be like hipster energy rather than hippie. But, that's not even based on anything. There is a term for people who think that it used to be better. It used to be better in an age that they didn't actually experience, right? From that movie, Midnight in Paris, is that it? I think so. They use that term in that movie, and it's all about that. It's like, some people really have that. Everyday life gets to be so boring and mundane and normal that we think the old days where we weren't alive, we didn't actually experience those, we weren't there, were better. And that, of course, can never be true, because if everyone has that feeling, then we'll never be happy with the time we're in. You are our God. So I'm kind of like saying that maybe I prefer this deck for that reason. Yeah, what do you make of tomato, potato, eggplant? Let's look at that. Tomato, potato, eggplant. Macrobiotic doctrine says that these vegetables are extremely yin, almost to the point of being poisonous. However, for most people, tomatoes, potatoes, and eggplants mean nourishment or practical considerations involving food. I added, one man's trash is another man's treasure. Maybe that's what it meant to me that day. Look at that. Ooh. Yes. Beautiful. No, just me mentioning that other oracle deck is just because it looks so much the same. Just look it up. I think actually it has the potential of being pretty cool. It's just I already have this one. So maybe that's enough, you know? A hand that gives and receives, a hand that points, a hand that shows your lifeline, your experience, what you do for a job, if you use your hands, what you do for a living. Then there's also this, you know, it's really drug-dragged. One of the explanations in the booklet is, perhaps you have taken too many drugs. But then, of course, a deeper message is incorporated in this, the meaning of this card as well, saying maybe you should, you know, try to look at the positive or something. Let's look it up. You may be hungover from taking too many drugs, or perhaps your energy is not productive because of obstacles. Okay, so for some cards like the Virgin Sun Queen that we've just seen, you get a whole text, you get an entire chapter, and here only 2 short sentences. What I added was, don't let it get you down. That's from a song, isn't it? Going a little bit faster here. Interesting, right? Oh, look at that. You doing the Celtic Cross with this deck, and then this card comes up. The Whirling Golden Wheel. on or off. Great. The war has reached a critical point between Atlantis and MU. Oh, this card is so beautiful. And it's great, you know, because it looks like a very simple oracle card where it just has a message here, very easy and to the point message. It says, try to relax. But then the booklet says, there's no use in trying to relax. You either try or you relax. It's one or the other. You're not going to reach relaxation by trying. So I really, really love that. Heavy, yeah. Maybe this is supposed to be Lady Justice, and she sure is heavy. Nobody here but us folk. Oh, I just love that. If there is a judge, you are it. Somewhere there's an energy leak. Door to the Akashic Records. Okay, so this is also interesting. Downhill run. You know what I mean? Like with this deck, it's so obvious that whatever message there is at first glance, they actually mean something else. It flips, and I love that. From here on in, it's nothing but a downhill run. So, I don't know, maybe it's actually because I'm not a native English speaker, but my first interpretation of this card was that things aren't going that great, because that's what it means. Things are going downhill, things are going badly. But then the booklet says, actually, going downhill is easier than going uphill, so you're just going with the flow, something along those lines. Maybe this is going to be a full flip through. This is cool, isn't it? There are no others, and then there's no title. And I think the explanation was exactly, there are no others. We are all the same. We are all together. We are all one. This is the robot. It's a dog eat dog food world. Ooh, I love this card because it's one of those funny ones and deep ones at the same time. Does consciousness ring a bell? And then the booklet says, no, she honks a horn. Sorry, I'm giving away all the good stuff. This is pure spoilers if you're interested in this deck. But, I mean... oh. Who am I? Trip. There is no you. This is one of those beautiful ones. There is no you and there are no others. Not unfolding the way it should. The universe. No, exactly. It's unfolding the way that it is. Or something like that. Oh. The blank card. As above, so below. No trips without a tripper. You are a pawn. This is also a sweet card, if you know the meaning behind it. Whatever's right. So, you know, after working with this deck for a while, you start to pick up on things and add things of your own that aren't in the booklet, that make complete sense in the tone of this deck. This card is a good example for that. Whatever's right. I'm going to look it up in the little book. Whatever's right. Meet the inevitable with resolution, even if it's irresolution. When dealing with the flow of time and the ego, you have to act from a knowledge of self, pushing through the confusion and asking no one for guidance. Be yourself and see freedom now. You can do no more than to go forth to meet your destiny. Okay, so pretty heavy message from this card from the booklet. And then in the margins next to that text, I added, so the card is called Whatever's Right. I added, don't forget to look at what is left. So, just playing with these words, isn't it? Think outside the box, be yourself, create your own tradition, and then deviate from that tradition. Go with your own flow. Change is constant. Ride the waves of change. Yeah, I mean... Love, what I kind of tried to recreate here. Yeah. I think this card was one of those typical 70s expressions. Let George do it. George likes to do things. It makes him happy that he is more competent and less lazy than 99.9% of the rest of humankind. Relax and let your intuition guide you. George will do the rest. Okay, I'm not sure. But hey, maybe someone older than me can tell me. Look at this. Isn't this beautiful? Down home funk. I really feel this card. I've lost some family houses along the years, and this is, yeah, kind of bringing me there. Grass, yes. Freak, wake, probably judgment, right? And there I was, surrounded. Beautiful. Be careful going around curves. What do you make of this, But it's very interesting. Boo! What's happening? I come from a different planet. Yeah, almost done. This is cool, right? What are your own feelings? Pigs and fishes surround you. Speed. And the last card of the deck that I have right here is wordless. So let's end this in as much wordless as possible. Thanks, and I hope you liked it. You liked watching this. This is truly one of my favorite oracle decks. Honestly, I have 3 like I showed you, but I'm really happy to have this one. It's weird, crazy, it brings my mind to another perspective, it flips my perspective, and I really enjoy that. And also, it's just an extra bonus point that it's a absolute 70s strange psychedelic deck. So I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you later.